It's working? Okay, so last time everybody saw this patient came due to the right flank pain. And she thought, or the other doctor said, it may be or it might be the gallbladder problems. But I found she has a lot of yeast, mold, fungus infection. And that's why I put the problem on the sides of all those colored stickers. But in the meantime, we found she has several cancer cells. And it was at ileocecal valve and at the transverse colon and at the stomach, and that is at a sigmoid colon and at the rectum. And we found she had actually the malignant carcinoma, and it was malignant means it can be dangerous later. And she had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and she had other kind of lymphomas. So last week we gave the protocol that her brain can rupture and destroy the cancer cell of malignant carcinoma. So last week I gave the protocol to destroy malignant carcinoma from the whole body site. And she has malignant carcinoma not at these sites, but she had some other sites also. But I destroyed all malignant carcinoma by programming her brain function. So the malignant carcinoma is finished, but actually it's going to take how many weeks, do you remember?
You had said 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah. So malignant carcinoma will be destroyed within 6 weeks. And today, I actually found several mold and spore parasites. Not actually parasite, it is like pathologies. So I gave her the first protocol to destroy all those spores and all those mold. And actually it was virus virion and mold yeast spores, and I gave all the protocols to destroy them. And let me give you one information. Usually in the springtime, the glaciers and the ice, they actually melt because of elevating temperature. That time the glacier or the ice release a lot of spores. That's why in springtime, a lot of pathological pandemic are spreading, like flus or allergies, and all those are spreading, especially the melting period of those ice or glacier. So this spring, it is now March 21st, and we have a lot of spores in the air and in the water, and even in the vegetables and fruits, because the contaminated water is given to those plants. So this patient had a lot of spore infection, and I cleared that. Then I actually gave the protocol to destroy the Hodgkin's lymphoma and one additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So this patient experienced very tiredness last Tuesday. And she usually not taking any nap during the day, but on Tuesday she experienced unusual tiredness, so she had to take a nap, and she had to continuously sleep, and it is a very unusual thing. And her brain database said that it is because of those cancer cells are aggravated. So I gave her the protocol to kill all the Hodgkin's lymphoma and one additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma by program her own brain, and we have to get rid of all those causative factors. And I found her Hodgkin's lymphoma and those the other additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, they were formed due to the colored food So food coloring. So we say it is edible food coloring, but there's none such as edible artificial coloring in the world. Original color of green, red, yellow from plants or fruits, it is very edible and it's very good for us. But if we make it from the factory with other artificial chemical, your body is not familiar with them, and always it's gonna be accumulated as the poison and hidden poison and the free radicals. So her case, the Hodgkin's lymphoma and the non-Hodgkin's additional lymphoma formated because of those food coloring accumulation. So we have to get rid of those coloring poison and hidden poisons, toxins, and hidden toxins, and allergens and hidden allergens, and free radicals and hidden free radicals, and all systemic of all of them first. Then we have to program her brain, and we have to reactivate and resume and reinforce of all the immune system and all the immune cells, such as T cells, B cells, plasma cells, your interleukins, and your cytokine, and macrophage, Kupffer cell, and all other lymphocytes, plus anti-cancer program, apoptosis, natural killer cell, P53, anti-cancer, and BCL2, cancer aggravating factor. We have to do all those kind of immune system, plus reticular immunities, T-cell immunities, B-cell immunities, autoimmunities. We have to reinforce of all those immunities by program the patient's own brain. Then patient's brain is gonna use all those immune systems, and they're gonna kill those cancer cells, and they're gonna rupture all of it. So I gave the program to rupture the Hodgkin's lymphoma. And many people not recognize or differentiate the Hodgkin's lymphoma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and Burkitt's lymphoma. Usually Hodgkin's lymphoma occurs in the lymph node with B cells. So there are several immune cells, and the typical, the most important are B cells and T cells. So Hodgkin's lymphoma, in the they are occurring in the B cells in lymph node. And Hodgkin's lymphoma's characteristics are, they have special owl eye looking special cell. The cell looks really big, 2 eyes in the cell, and that's why we call it owl eye cell or mirror imaging cells. And so the name is Reed-Sternberg cell. So Dr. Reed and Dr. Sternberg, they studied it and they found those cells. So it is named as Reed-Sternberg cells. And I put at the comment last video about that. So Hodgkin's lymphoma, actually, it is formed by the invasion of the Reed-Sternberg cell into the lymph nodes, and they surround the B cells. So B cell gets enlarged, and finally they are gonna form a big lymph node, lumps. And usually it starts from your cervical lymph node. Then it can spread step by step, and I think you have several up and down. So it is not the beginning stage. So that is the Hodgkin's lymphoma. So the differentiation is Hodgkin's lymphoma has Reed-Sternberg cell existing, and the B cell is getting malfunctioned. Now, the other non-Hodgkin's lymphoma usually occurs with T cells. So T cell malfunction is usually lymphoma. And also it can occur in the lymph node, but it can spread all other organs and tissues also. So there's another typical lymphoma, we call it Burkitt's lymphoma. and it is very spreaded in Africa, especially young children. And Burkitt's lymphoma does not denote or not developed yet into B cell or T cell. So it is not developed typical cells, and usually it gives a lot of rashes on the skin surface. And it is Burkitt's lymphoma. And Burkitt's lymphoma is usually related with Epstein-Barr virus infection. So I kill all those Burkitt's, not Burkitt's. Today I killed Hodgkin's lymphoma and one additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I'm going to now show the pendulum test that moves along your energy circulation. Whenever you have problem, then the energy is not moving, then the pendulum is not moving. But last week I killed malignant carcinoma. Last week, here, and all other sites. And today I killed Hodgkin's lymphoma, here. And actually it was a lot at her neck area and her left arm also. So let me see the pendulum. In the beginning, last time video, all cancer cell sites did not have any energy flow because it was blocked by those pathological factors. Now let's see after the malignant carcinoma from killing and Hodgkin's lymphoma killing and one additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma killing. Let me see the pendulum movement. So usually I hold this pendulum and I stay still. Then if it is good and no pathological or no problem, then usually pendulum moves along the clockwise circular mode, and that is the perfect mode of the pendulum test. So let's see. So that is ileocecal valve site. The others will yeast fungus, but this spot is ileocecal valve. Good. So Kathy, you can look up the YouTube later. Yeah. So are you catching this pendulum movement? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you make a little close? And you have to show my hand. My hand is stay still, but pendulum is moving along her own energy circulation. Now the ileocecal valve sites actually recover the full optimum energy circulation, and it's beautiful. But the cancer cell will be killed after like 8 weeks. Good. Now this is the transverse colon, and this is the actual site of the cancer. So that's why I put the dots here. Let me see at the transverse colon site. So Mr. Hoshi, you can see the difference, right? Good. Actually, this time the pendulum moves only line to line, a little diagonal line. Means your energy is recovered only that direction. And the other directions means you have still energy blockage.
There's still the other
That's
two
right.
forms of the
That's
lymphoma.
right. So she still has other lymphoma. So this is lymphoma test vial. Let me put this on chest. Then it works as like the key, and it's gonna open the blocked energy. And then we have to, the correct of this one, we have to kill this. But as soon as we put the lymphoma vial, let's see what happens. You have to show from here. Good. Now your brain catches the frequency at the lymphoma test vial or the little ampule. And now it recovers beautifully. The circle, clockwise circles. Good. It means after we kill those lymphoma, then your this site will be recovered. Good. Now that is actual stomach test point. So let me see. Actually, stomach point does not make big circle. It means it still has other factor. And we found it was also the lymphoma, so let me see. Yeah, as soon as we put lymphoma test file, your brain catches its frequency. Now it recovers the beautiful circular mode. Good. Good. So next week we can do the protocol to kill the lymphoma. Your brain said that you have 2 additional non-specific lymphoma. Okay. Now that is sigmoid. So I'm gonna take the pendulum test on the sigmoid. So sigmoid also only recovers side-to-side energy movement or energy pattern. So let me put the lymphoma also, and let's see what's gonna happen. So actually, even though we put lymphoma, it does not recover the full circle. And you remember what is
radiation.
That's right. So actually, this point, she has the accumulation of radioactive components, such as plutonium, uranium, strontium, cesium, radium, selenium, and they are from the air due to the fire of Los Alamos laboratory. And that's why we breathe in all those in the air still. And she has the accumulation of that. And the other one's seaweed that was collected from the sea around Japan and Korea. Because seaweed, they are the worst food that has the most radioactive contamination. Because they are under the seawater, and the seawater always flow around the seaweed, and they have a lot of seaweed on the surface of it. So a lot of Korean people who eat lots of seaweed, in Korean language, kim, they have a lot of cancer problem also, and especially sarcoma. Anyway, she has radioactive components, and I'm gonna do the pendulum test with a radioactive components test vial. Then her brain will catch this frequency, and let's see what happens with the pendulum pattern. Good. Now it recovers the circular mode. Good. So next week, hopefully we can do the both of them. But it is depend upon your body strength and of your immune system's strength. Good. So we have to do the lymphoma correction and the radioactive components elimination here. Then I'm going to see her rectum. So that is the rectum. Okay, so rectum also makes the diagonal line-to-line movement. And I remember it was still, the lymphoma still there. So this is lymphoma test vial. And let's see. Good. Now it recovers the circular mode in clockwise direction. Good. Beautiful. Okay, so this patient still has lymphoma, and her brain database said that he has 2 additional non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I have to kill it next week. And I found she has like leukemia also. And leukemia is now very common in 2012 and 13. As the result of the big fire in 2011 July at Los Alamos, the biggest nuclear laboratory in the world actually. And they shut down after the fire. And that time, about 20,000 barrels of plutonium burnt, and they contaminated the air. So actually I got leukemia, and actually I got all those cancer cells myself. And I treated myself with my brain function, and I'm okay. So she has leukemia, and we have to get rid of that too. And it is possible. We don't need any chemical, because the brain can use all those immune cells and immunities that I previously mentioned. Then that is the best way to kill all those cancer cells, either very small, and even though it is not shown by all those MRI, CT, sonogram, and SCOPy. All those images, they catch after they grow big. Otherwise, they don't know. But the seeds of that, like weed of the seeds underground, your brain catches them and they kill it before they grow big and very life-threatening. So you are very lucky, and also thank you very much. This patient reserved her shirt. So I really appreciate you. So she reserved all those dots, and she brings it back, and she wears it, because I'd like to see all those exact same sites. So I really appreciate that, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hodgkin.
Yeah. So that